Speaking test instructions. There are 8 tasks in speaking test. The speaking test is about 15 to 20 minutes. The speaking test is the last part of the CELPIP test. Sample answers for all the tasks are given after each task completes. Time is up. Start speaking now.
Honestly, it really depends on what your friend values more right now, independence or saving money. Living alone is amazing if they want privacy and full control over their space. They won't have to worry about noisy roommates, messy kitchens, or fighting over bills. But of course, it comes with higher costs, and sometimes it can feel a little lonely. On the other hand, living with roommates is usually much cheaper, and it can also be fun. You've got people around to hang out with, split chores, and share expenses. The downside is less privacy and the chance of conflicts if lifestyles don't match. Personally, I'd say if your friend is financially comfortable and values peace and quiet, living alone is worth it. But if they'd rather save money or want more social interaction, roommates could be the better option. It really comes down to what matters more in their daily life.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
A time when I had to give up something I enjoyed was during my final year of university. I used to play basketball with my friends every weekend, and it was my main way to relax and stay active. However, that year I had a very demanding research project that required long hours in the library and constant revisions. I realized that if I continued playing every weekend, I wouldn't have enough time to complete my work properly. At first, it was really difficult to step away from the game because I missed the fun and the social interaction. But I decided to focus on my studies, and I only played occasionally as a reward after finishing big tasks. In the end, I successfully completed my project and graduated with good grades. Looking back, I feel proud because the sacrifice was temporary, but the results had a lasting impact on my career.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
This picture shows a tense office meeting. At the center of the scene, a woman in a gray blazer is standing and pointing her finger at a man sitting across from her. She looks serious, almost as if she's scolding him or strongly disagreeing with his opinion. The man, who is wearing a light blue shirt, is gesturing with his hands, possibly defending himself or explaining his side. Around them, 3 other colleagues are seated at the table. They look uncomfortable and concerned, watching the argument unfold. On the table, there are some business documents with charts and graphs, along with a laptop and a notebook. The setting seems to be a modern office with large windows letting in natural light. Overall, the mood in this image appears quite intense and stressful, as the focus is clearly on the conflict between the two people.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
In the next few minutes, I think the argument between the woman and the man might escalate further if neither of them decides to calm down. Since the woman is pointing and the man looks defensive, it seems like they are strongly disagreeing about work-related matters, maybe a project or report. One of the colleagues sitting nearby might step in to mediate and try to reduce the tension. The person with glasses, who looks thoughtful, might try to suggest a compromise or remind them to stay professional. Another possibility is that the meeting could be paused, giving everyone a chance to cool down before continuing. If the situation improves, they might eventually return to discussing the documents on the table and focus on the work. But if not, this disagreement might have a negative impact on the teamwork and the atmosphere in the office.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
I understand that cheap wired earphones for $20 might seem like an easy way to save money, but I really believe the SoundMax Pro wireless headphones are a much smarter investment. Wired earphones often break quickly, they're uncomfortable to wear for long hours, and the sound quality is only average. For important calls or music, that can be really frustrating. The SoundMax Pro, on the other hand, offers excellent value. With noise-canceling technology, I can focus better whether I'm working in a busy cafe or traveling. The 30-hour battery means I don't have to worry about charging often, and the comfortable design makes them perfect for long work sessions or flights. Plus, the 2-year warranty ensures they'll last. Since I'll be using them every single day, paying more upfront for comfort, reliability, and top-notch sound is absolutely worth it.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
Hi, I hope you don't mind me stopping by, but I wanted to bring up something that's been affecting me and my family. Over the last week, I've noticed the music from your apartment has been quite loud late at night, usually around midnight or even later. I completely understand that everyone enjoys relaxing with music, I do as well, but the volume has been making it really difficult for us to get proper rest, especially since I need to wake up early for work and my kids for school. I'm not asking you to stop enjoying your music at all. I was just wondering if it might be possible to either lower the volume a little during late hours or maybe use headphones after a certain time. I think that would make things much more comfortable for everyone. I really want to keep a good neighborly relationship with you, so I appreciate your understanding. Hi, thanks for taking the time to listen. I recently moved into the building, and overall, I really enjoy the place. However, I've been having a problem with one of my neighbors. Over the past week, they've been playing music very loudly at night, sometimes even past midnight. It has been difficult for my family and me to sleep, and it's starting to affect our daily routines and productivity. I'd really like to handle this issue in a respectful way without creating unnecessary conflict, but I feel uncomfortable addressing it directly with the neighbor. Since you're responsible for building management, I was hoping you could step in and remind them of the quiet hours policy. Even a small adjustment, like lowering the volume during late-night hours, would make a huge difference. I'd really appreciate your help in resolving this situation so that we can all enjoy a peaceful environment.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
I think governments should spend more money on public transportation rather than building new roads and highways. First of all, public transportation is more environmentally friendly. Buses, trains, and subways can carry many people at once, which reduces the number of cars on the road and helps lower air pollution. This is very important as countries try to fight climate change. Secondly, investing in public transit saves money for citizens. Not everyone can afford a car, and transportation costs can be a heavy burden. Reliable buses and trains give people affordable ways to get to work, school, or other places. For example, in big cities like Toronto or Vancouver, public transit is often the only option for students or low-income families. Finally, building more roads usually doesn't solve traffic problems. In fact, it can encourage more people to drive, which leads to even more congestion. On the other hand, good public transportation reduces traffic, saves time, and makes cities more livable. To sum up, while roads are still necessary, I believe governments should prioritize public transportation because it's cleaner, cheaper, and more effective in the long term.
Time is up. Start speaking now.
I see a very unusual and almost magical scene. There's a large rabbit riding a bright orange bicycle along a dirt path in the countryside. The rabbit looks very natural, sitting upright with its paws on the handlebars, as if it's completely comfortable cycling like a human. On the back of the bicycle, there's a wicker basket filled with fresh carrots, which adds a charming touch. The background shows a peaceful golden field, with tall grass glowing in the soft afternoon sunlight, and a large tree standing off to the side. What makes this scene so strange is that rabbits, of course, cannot ride bicycles, yet here it looks so realistic and believable. The whole setting feels calm and joyful, almost like a fairy tale moment where animals take on human habits. It's both funny and fascinating, because it blends everyday life with imagination in a very creative way.